RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
Salty Dalton, obviously, you and I, we've been conversing here of late because we've been in one of the fiercest sports competitions known to man, and that is the COVID-19 Open. And you, me, CMO Pete, and the Goose, Nick, have been ferociously competing in virtual golf over the past couple weekends.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Things are definitely heating up because we got 2 rounds to go. You're in the lead right now. You have a comfortable lead, I would say. What you mentioned?
It's really going to hinge on day 3 because if I can pull ahead on day 3, I could theoretically suck pretty hard on the last day, and I might be okay.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you up to date on our Instagram, but we wanted to bring you some content this week. We know we took last week off. I mean, with the quarantine, it's all about whatever comes to mind. If we feel like recording, we'll record. And right now, I have crafted quite a recording. It's the Choose Your Adventure cast. I guess it should be Choose Your Own Adventure, I guess. But and the way this is going to work is I have this game set up for Salty Dalton. He has not played this game yet. I have had some test subjects play this game. CMO Pete, my brother, even Ian. So I've run it through some test subjects, gotten some good feedback, and I'm very excited for you to participate here. So Salty Dalton, are you ready for just another podcast Thursday?
Whew. Give me about 10 seconds to gather myself here.
Psych yourself up. Because keep in mind, this game goes all over the place. There's a lot of twists. There's a lot of different possible paths. There's a whole lot of ways this thing could go, and it all depends on your decisions. So if you are ready, let's begin.
All right.
Just another podcast Thursday. Happy Thursday, this podcast day. You smile the whole drive home thinking about how happy you are that you get to work on a podcast with the funniest guy on the planet, your friend Ben. He is so handsome, too. You park your truck and skip up to the front door. As you turn the handle, you prepare your ears for the loud barking that typically greets you as you enter your abode. Only this time, when you open the door, you hear nothing. The lights are off. What'd you think?
I thought I was visiting your house because I was driving up to see you in this scenario.
No.
And I was like, why would there be dogs in your house?
No, you're driving home from work like normal on Thursday. So you open the door and you hear nothing. The lights are off. All you hear is a faint beeping noise coming from downstairs. What do you do next? You can either step inside cautiously, you call the police, or you start doing a nervous river dance.
Call the police. I've seen enough horror movies where if they had just called the police in the beginning, whatever they try to explain to them later, the police will believe because they were there. So 100% calling the police.
All right, so you call the police. Let's see here. So you dial 911 on your phone. Hello, this is 911. How may I help you? What do you say to the police? Help, I think my house was broken into. Or, what happens after we die?
Those are both really good questions that I could ask.
Yeah.
I'll play along, though. I think my house is broken into.
Okay, let's see.
I'll play in this space with you.
Keep in mind, if you make a couple wrong decisions, you'll just start back at the beginning or at different places. The police answer, we're busy watching Riverdale. Call back tomorrow.
Okay.
You, sir, are a dummy. Please start over. Hit next. So not quite the right path there. So it takes you back to the beginning here. Do you still want to try calling the police?
Yeah, I'll call the police.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So you're still going to call the police here. So my guess is now you're going to ask what happens after we die?
No, I think my house is broken into.
Well, that's what I clicked, and they said, call back tomorrow. We're watching Riverdale.
Are you sure they won't answer if I try it again?
Yeah, positive.
Okay, then I'll do the other one.
Okay. What happens after we die? The police dispatcher takes a hearty sigh. Well, it is definitely one of life's great mysteries. It is one of those existential questions, right? Who am I?
What?
Why am I here? What happens? But in my mind, we are living one of 1,000 lives that have already been lived. For example, I'd like to think in a previous life I was a Mongol warrior fighting for land and country. In another life, I was a Civil War soldier shooting my own kin. But today, I am a lowly police dispatcher. Have a nice day.
Okay.
And it says, you, sir, are a dummy. Please start over. Hit next. All right, so calling the police doesn't seem to be the right option here.
I guess. What about doing a nervous river dance?
Okay, so you're just
I don't know how to river
you're
dance,
avoiding
but-
the house entirely right now. River dance. Okay, this is sort of what you look like, and there's a river dance here if it ever plays. Oh yeah, let's skip ahead here. Oh, nice little ad. So there's some river dancers, and oh, there she goes. So that's
I'm not bad. That's what I look like?
That's what you look like, which is actually
That's
not that
not
bad. But unfortunately, not the right path.
Okay.
So all signs are pointing about you stepping inside.
I should
cautiously.
probably step inside the house.
All right, you
Yeah.
step inside the house. You slowly step into your house. You look to the right and see the TV is playing an episode of the hit teen drama Riverdale. But your wife is not sitting on the couch. Where do you go next? Do you go upstairs to check if Ashley's up there? Or B, go downstairs to the basement to investigate the beeping noise?
I'll go check to see if Ashley's alive.
Okay, I'm really glad you did. All right. So you're going upstairs. It makes it a lot more fun if you check on Ashley. You climb your staircase and notice a pool of what appears to be blood on the top step. The door to your bedroom is open, and you see a body laying on the bed. There's an axe sticking out of the body's back. Do you run back downstairs, out the front door, and keep running until you hit water, or investigate the body?
I gotta investigate the body.
All right, investigate the body here. You fear the worst, but as you get closer, you realize it is not your wife. It seems to be a man you've never seen before. He's wearing a leopard-spotted G-string and nothing else. There is a note taped to the back of his head. Do you read the note, yes or no?
Yes. I got it at this point.
Yeah.
I'm in too deep.
I agree. You read the note. At first, the handwriting is hard to decipher, especially with so much blood spatter, but you squint your eyes and make out the following. Hello, Salty Dalton. I am the game master, and you are playing my game. This dead person represents what will happen to you if you do not cooperate. Disregard the G-string thing. I told this guy to dress classy, and this is what he went with. Craigslist, am I right? What a weird
this guy
group of
just
people.
murdered him.
Anyways, downstairs there's a pair of headphones. It should be an S at the end of headphones, and a microphone. Put the headphones on and wait for my next command. All right, do you head down to the basement, or do you slowly slip the G-string off the dead body and try it on yourself just to see how it fits?
Yeah, I might do that.
Okay. Go ahead and put the G-string on. It fits quite nicely. Now for the rest of the story, you are wearing this.
Oh, no, really? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay.
All right. So now you're heading down to the basement. You make your way downstairs. The lights are flickering, and you notice the couch pillows are strewn about the room. There are scuff marks all over the walls. Your gaze finally finds the podcast table. There you see Ben, the handsome co-host, tied to a chair with a bandana stuffed into his mouth. He appears to be passed out. What do? Do you run up to Ben and untie him, as well as remove the bandana from his mouth? Or take a quick picture of him on your phone for possible meme creations later, then go and untie him?
Take a photo.
Wow, okay, making a note of that. You quickly untie Ben and gently slap him awake. He groggily opens his eyes. Ben rubs his face and blinks a few times before looking up at you. What happened? I have no idea, you quickly shrug. Have you seen Ashley? The dogs? Tilly wasn't feeling well when I got here, so Ashley took her and Wrigley to the vet. You breathe a sigh of relief. You don't remember anything that happened? You stare at Ben quizzically. He shakes his head. The last thing I remember was turning the microphones on, and then everything went black. Speaking of which, looks like they're still on. Maybe they caught something. What do you do
Ben's
next?
the game master.
Ben's
the game master.
Do you and Ben place your headphones on your ears, scroll back on the recording, and hit play? Or, it's too dangerous, you declare. Let's grab the laptop and get the hell out of here.
Ooh. I kind of like the idea of taking the recording and going somewhere else, but...
Yeah, do whatever you want. I'm not here to guide you, but I will say, it may be worth taking a listen of what might be on there.
All right, well, listen. I'll bite.
Okay. But I'm not going to try to steer you too much here. You hit play. Greetings, Ben and Salty Dalton. A distorted voice enters your ears. This is just like another episode of your silly show, isn't it? Oh, let's do another funny segment where you give fake advice to people. That's just hilarious, right? Oh, look, an episode where you play a computer game for an hour and expect people to enjoy listening to that. You two are such great podcast hosts, aren't you? Let me introduce myself. I am the game master, and you are on my show, in a way, and I would like to play a game. Here's the situation. Your wife Ashley is currently driving to what she thinks is the vet, except my team and I have taken over the vet's office and are currently stationed there waiting her arrival to take her to a secret hiding place. Ben shoots you a worried look. She is completely safe, for now, but that can change rapidly if you do not follow my instructions carefully. You are already behind schedule since I recorded this just 30 minutes before you arrived, but you can still catch up. Your first task is to answer a trivia question. Say your answer into the microphone, and that program you see on the computer screen will send it directly to me. You have 10 seconds after I state the question. If you answer incorrectly or run out of time, you will be punished. But if you answer correctly, you will be given a Google Maps link to the secret location. Push 1 on the keyboard if you would like to play, but answer carefully. Do you push 1 on the keyboard or grab the laptop and sprint outside?
That's a good question. I could still play the game from the laptop, right?
Yes. In theory, but you don't know what's going to happen when you go outside.
I'll push 1 on the keyboard.
Push 1 on the keyboard. A large box fills the computer screen and letters begin to appear. Which 80s movie was the highest grossing film of the decade? E.T., Die Hard, or Airplane? So your answer is E.T.? Correct! In a flash, an address appears on the screen. 4558 Green Valley Avenue. You scramble to type the location into your phone. It pops up. Only 10 minutes away. Let's go. You throw the headphones down and sprint up your basement stairs. Ben is right behind you. You sprint to your truck and get behind the wheel. Ben slams the passenger door shut, and you turn the key in the ignition. What the hell is even going on right now? Ben exclaims, throwing his arms into the air. One moment I'm testing the podcast gear for you to come home. The next I'm waking up in a chair, and now we're going to get some wake up tied in a chair, and now we're going to go to some address you got from answering an 80s trivia question correctly? I can't speak right now. You shrug your shoulders. No time to question it right now. We got to get to Ashley. You glance in your rearview mirror and notice a black van following close behind. What do? A, step on the gas and try to evade your tail, or B, ignore the van and continue on?
Step on the gas, baby.
Okay. Hold on, you yell and push the pedal all the way down to the floor. Your tires screech as you hang a tight turn and evade barreling into a few nearby cars. You weave through traffic, taking quick glances at your mirror to see if the van is still close. I think we lost him, you sigh in relief. You focus your attention back on the GPS as you make your way to the location. You follow the GPS and end up in a parking lot in front of a warehouse. There are no other cars around. You spot a door that appears to be swung open. What do you think? Do we just go inside and hope for the best? Ben asks you. What do you say? Do you either say, let's do it, let's just run through the doors, fist flying, or we should scope it out more first. Let's see if there are any other doors.
Scope it out.
Okay. I agree. Let's be careful. Ben nods, and the two of you slowly head to the side of the building. As you continue along the side wall, you come across another door. What do? Try and open the door, or keep walking and looking for other doors?
Keep walking.
Let's keep looking. You and Ben continue along the wall. As you round the next corner, you are immediately hit in the face with a right hook and a left jab to your stomach. Fuck! Ben yells as you hear the impact of a kick to his shin. You are seeing stars and then complete darkness as a bag is placed over your head. You hear a low, gravelly voice. Grab them both and bring them to the big man. He's been waiting for these idiots.
Oh, that's not very nice.
You feel your body being picked up and thrown. You also feel the rush of cold water going straight up your ass. You're flailing around some sort of pool. Your mask floats off your head and you start to get your bearings. There is a large spotlight aimed at you in the water. Everywhere you look outside of the pool is shrouded in darkness, except for a tall platform on one end. You strain your eyes to see what is on top of the platform. Welcome, boys! The voice sounds somewhat familiar as you recall the distorted message from the recording at your house. You turn and lock eyes with Ben. He's struggling to keep his head above water, frantically kicking his feet. Who are you? You shout, but it comes out more like a gargle as your lungs are still filled with some water. The figure snaps his finger, and a spotlight slowly begins to appear. It starts at his feet and makes his way slowly up to his face. Hello, friends. You gasp as the face of your former CMO, Pete, is staring back at you from above. You hear Ben audibly groan.
My God.
Pete, what the hell's going on? Where's Ashley? Why are we here? Pete twirls a cane in his fingers from his perch. So many questions. If you were able to locate your laptop, I hope you enjoyed that 80s trivia. If not, you missed out on a fun one. Pete hops up from his chair and climbs down to the side of the pool. It's been a while, Salty Dalton. Did you miss me? What do you say? Yes, you mutter begrudgingly, or hell no, you yell defiantly?
Probably yes, honestly.
Okay, that's probably the right choice. Good to hear! Pete's face lights up with a grin. Now let's get down to business, shall we? First things first, say hello to your wife. Your wife is dragged and thrown at Pete's feet. Her hands and legs are bound with ropes. You tense up, looking for any sign of life. She raises her head and you lock eyes. She looks scared. What do you want, Pete? Let us go. Pete tilts his head. You really don't know why you were here. You try and think hard. For any reason why you'd be in this situation. You turn to Ben. He shrugs his shoulders. Do you gamble at a guess for why you were brought here, or announce that you don't have any clue what Pete is talking about?
Gamble a guess.
Okay. You want to be on the podcast again, you cautiously ask? Pete throws his head back and laughs. You really don't get it, do you? You know what? Forget this charade entirely. Let's just end this now. Pete raises his gun and points it directly at your head. We outie, he declares and pulls the trigger. Way to go, moron, you're dead. Now try that again. All right, so it's going to take you back to this decision here. All right, so it's back to your Salty Dalton, do you miss me? So last time you said yes. Do you want to continue saying yeah? It was the next decision after this that got you killed. So you can either stay on that same track. Okay, you're going to switch to hell no? Okay, we'll see how that goes. Hell no, you yell defiantly, glaring daggers at your former CMO. Pity. Pete sighs and pulls out a pistol. He aims at Ben and fires, clipping his head and removing Ben's left ear. Ben shrieks in pain as blood pools on the water next to him. Let's try this again. Do you miss me? Do you either say, fine, yes, or no, and I never will?
No, and I never will.
Oh, God, dude, what are you doing? Oh, dear. Pete twirls his cane a few times, contemplating his next move.
Oh, God!
Pete aims his gun and shoots Ben again. This time his right ear is removed. He is screaming with pain. Now let me ask you one more time, this time for realsies. Do you miss me? What do you say? Either yes or F off?
Oh, God, Pete is a psychopath. I'm gonna lock eyes with him and say F off.
Okay. F off, you prick! You scream. Pete raises an eyebrow, lowers to aim the gun at your head. What a shame. If only you had made the right choice. He pulls the trigger and your world goes dark.
Damn, I died again?
You died again. Okay, let's take you back to this decision again. Okay. Do you want to say...
hell no.
Okay, so you're still going to stick with hell no. Now, he's asking, do you miss me? Or do you want to say yes or no?
And he's only shot off one of your ears, right?
Correct.
So no, and I never will.
Okay. So he's saying no again. And now here's the last time. F off or yes?
Yes.
Okay. I think you made the right choice. So now I have 2 ears gone. Thanks.
You got 2 ears gone.
Good to hear. Pete's face lights up with a grin. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? First things first, say hello to your wife. You already did. Okay. I guess it took you back to before you had seen your wife. So, all right, here we go. What does Pete want? So Pete tilts his head. You really don't know why you were here. You try and think hard for any reason why you'd be in the situation. So here's the situation again where you gamble at a guess for why you were brought here or announce that you have no idea what Pete's talking about. So this got you killed. This is what got you killed.
Yeah, that got me shot.
Yeah.
So I'll announce I have no idea.
Okay, so I have no idea what you're talking about, Pete, you yell. Pete blinks. Are you serious? You really don't know? You shake your head, your arms and legs getting sore from treading water. Please, Pete, what do you want? He pauses. You abandoned me. Both of you. You cast me aside like some whore. I was your chief marketing officer until you decided one day I wasn't good enough for you. But Pete, you begin, you never seemed like you wanted to be CMO. We would joke around, but you never actually did anything to help the show. I tried. Pete slammed his cane to the floor. But your show is just not marketable. You're called the Random Word Podcast, and yet I haven't heard you two provide a word in months.
He does have us there.
We wanted to try other things, Ben pipes up. Try what? Playing silly would-you-rather scenarios? Oregon Trail? You boys gave me nothing to work with. Then you stopped calling me your CMO. He holds back a tear. You abandoned me. His yells reverberated around the room. What do? Either ask Pete if you'd like to be your CMO again, or ask Pete to calm down.
Ask Pete to calm down.
Okay. Pete, relax, dude. Again. This is just a silly podcast. No need for ropes and pools and guns. Let's just sit down and discuss this. Pete laughs. Calm down. Okay, buddy. I'll calm down. Pete aims his gun at your head and pulls the trigger.
Oh, Jesus.
The world goes dark.
I've died like 3 times now.
Okay. So let's get you back to... So it takes you back here.
Whoa.
Let's just skip and just say yes, because it gets you to this decision.
Both your ears are still missing, right?
All right, so yeah. So you announced, don't have any clue what we're talking about. All right, so now, do you want to ask Pete?
Yeah, please be our CMO again, Pete.
Pete, do you want to officially be our CMO again? We can do a special announcement on Instagram or something. Would that make you happy? Pete ponders the thought for a moment. He slowly nods his head. That sounds nice. That's all I ever wanted. Oh, and by the way, watch out for the sharks. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a remote with a large red button. He presses the button and the sides of the pool shift and small gates begin to open. You turn and spot... He
literally put us in a shark tank.
Yep. You turn and spot multiple large gray objects emerging from the side. What do? Do you attempt to swim to the edge of the pool and jump out, or you use Ben as a human shield and push him towards the shark as a distraction?
Ooh, man. Well, Ben's technically already bleeding from both ears missing. But I don't want to do him dirty for this one. Although, I feel like I could survive that way. You tell you what, I'll just try to swim to the edge of the pool and jump out.
Okay, good. Your fingers grasp the edge of the pool ledge as you pull yourself to safety. Salty Dalton, wait, help me! Ben yells from the water, a wall of sharks surrounding him. What do? Do you either jump back in and attempt to save him, or locate the gun on the ground and start shooting sharks?
Shooting sharks, baby.
Smart. If you jump back in, we would have both died, by the way. You just start firing, hitting shark after shark. The other sharks get nervous and run back into their cage.
The shark's like, whoa, buddy, whoa.
Gunplay.
Listen.
Ben swims to safety and joins you out of the water.
You brought a gun to a shark fight.
Ben runs over to make sure Ashley is all right while you train your gun on Pete. He stands there with his hands in the air with a faint look of surprise. Is this how it ends, old friend? He asks, bemused. What do? Do you either take a deep breath and pull the trigger, or you flip the gun in your hand and pistol whip Pete?
Pistol whip Pete.
Okay. We don't have that much left here. You slam the pistol into Pete's cranium. He crumples to the floor. Let's get the F out of here, you growl. Ben and Ashley follow behind you as you stride to the door. A few guards appear, but you quickly dispatch them with a few more well-placed pistol whips. So what do you think, man? Should we make him our CMO again? Ben chuckles as you slowly drive your truck out of the parking lot. You share a loving glance with Ashley. What is your answer? Sure, why not? Or he can kiss my ass.
Sure, why not? If he's willing to go to such great lengths just to,
Okay. Even after all this? Ashley asked questioningly. Yeah, sure. Once our CMO, always our CMO. You peel out and drive off into the sunset, laughing with your wife and co-host. You notice something seems off with Ashley. You glance over and notice a strange line at the base of her neck. What do? Do you either point at the mark and ask her what it is, or try and ignore it and drive off into the sunset?
I'm going to point at the mark, ask what it is.
Okay. What is that? A smile slowly appears at your wife's lips. Her skin becomes wrinkled. She reaches her fingers to the mark and slowly peels off the skin. You almost veer off the road as she tosses the mask out the window to reveal the face of Pete. He reaches his fingers towards your neck as you try to fight him off while maintaining control of your truck. Do you attempt to pull over and fight Pete, or yell for Ben to help?
Yell for Ben to help.
Okay.
Well, maybe he can't hear me because both his ears have been
Ben!
shot.
Your co-host reaches around the seat and tries to pry Pete's hands off of you. Pete slaps his hands away and throws an elbow to Ben's face. Ben flies back into his seat, holding his nose. Pete smiles as his fingers tighten around your throat. Suddenly, your airflow decreases. Stars appear in your eyes. We outie! Pete exclaims as your world becomes dark.
I've died 4 times now.
Pete killed you. Yikes. Let's try that again. All right. You probably should attempt to pull over and fight Pete now.
Oh, dang. I wish you would take us back to where I could shoot Pete.
Oh, we can go back there. Trust me. And you'll see that path too. But we'll do this first. You slam on the brakes and wrench the wheel to the right. Your car hits the guardrail and skids to a stop. You throw fists and elbows towards Pete, making contact with his nose. Blood spurts on the window. Pete opens the passenger door and falls into the road. He limps to his feet and begins to run away. You clutch your throat, the marks from Pete's hands turning into bruises. Do we chase after him, Salty Dalton? You shake your head, breathing heavy. Something tells me that's not the last time we'll see Pete. And that's ending number 2. Congratulations, you made to the end. Feel free to backtrack or click next to start the very beginning. So let's go back to the decision where you can shoot Pete.
Well done with this one. This is a very elaborate choose your own adventure. You did well, man.
So I'll show you another possible route here. So let's go back to ignore it first. Let's say you saw the mark on Ashley. Just ignore it. Later that evening, you're in bed, contemplating that day's events. Ashley gets into bed next to you, giving your shoulder a little squeeze. You spot that same wrinkle again on her neck, just like earlier. You want to ignore it, but you've never seen it before. This is your wife we are talking about. The urge is too great. What is that mark on your neck? You ask. You point at the wrinkle. Ashley raises an eyebrow and quickly smooths out the skin. Nothing, dear. Just a little wrinkle. Good night. You nod your head and start to close your eyes. Don't let the sharks bite. A familiar voice bellows from the other side of the bed. And that's how that storyline ends. So let's go back to the gun decision here.
Damn,
All
Pete
right.
is just he's out to kill us.
So this is where your gun is trained on Pete. He stands there, he asks, "Is this how it ends, old friend?" So you take a deep breath and pull the trigger. The gun fires and Pete stands there, even more shocked as he stares at the hole now imprinted on his left breast. He falls to his knees, gasping for air. You rush over to him. "I'm sorry, Pete, I had to do it. I mean, you tried to kill us with sharks." A light smile appears on Pete's lips. "Oh, I know. You had to do it. I guess this means you won the game." His eyes glaze over and his limbs stiffen. A single tear drops from your eyes and lands on his body. You cradle his head in your hands. A week later. "You had to do it, babe. He tried to kill all of us." Ashley places a hand on your shoulder comfortingly. The two of you are at the cemetery. I know, but why did it come to this? Why didn't he just talk to me about it?" "I guess we'll never know. Don't let it get to you." Ashley gave him a pat before turning and heading back. Gave you a pat, I guess, before turning and heading back towards the car. You sigh and take one long look at the gravestone. Here lies Pete, son, brother, and CMO of the Random Word Podcast. And that's another ending there. So,
Interesting. So if I pistol whip Pete, it's not really Pete because
you
he was Ashley the whole time.
It's hard to say when the switch happened, but the switch happened at some point. And so if you just pistol whip him, at some point you are going to run into some trouble. So let me take us quick. I just want to see any other places where the storyline would have gone a little differently. Let's see. Let me do the thing that takes us all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so the other type of place you could have gone with it is it would have been shorter. So if you just go downstairs to the basement, you just automatically you go downstairs and the downstairs stuff starts happening. So the body upstairs really had no way to tie that into anything. So just, it just happens. If you went down that path, you would have seen the body. And then the other possible path is if you had just grabbed the laptop and headed out of there, what would have happened would have been you and Ben sprint out of the house, and then a black van peels out of the parking space, and 2 men in masks jump in and grab you both.
Oh, that black van that was following us.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, disoriented, you fling your limbs around trying to break free of your captor's grasp. You receive a swift punch to the gut. Stop resisting. One of the men shouts at you, and you stop. "Where the hell are you taking us?" yells Ben, to an old friend. And then, so you would have ended up in the pool that way. And then the other way you would have ended up is, let's see. So if you had... So when you first got to the, when you make that decision about driving fast or ignoring the van, if you ignore the van, when you end up at the parking lot, the van is right there with you, and they jump out and grab you there. And then if you just go in fists flying into the warehouse, you still end up in the pool. You just don't deal with the guys in the masks, basically.
What about if I had entered that second door?
It was locked. It was locked, actually.
Oh, if I try the handle. Dude, well done. Yeah. This was elaborate. I enjoyed this very much.
So you did well, though. I mean, because here's the thing is I was trusting you to make some of the decisions that you ended up making because it extends the game out a little longer. So you did exactly that. So in my thinking is there's got to be a follow-up to this game at some point because we still don't know where Ashley is because Pete and her switched.
You're right.
Because he put on an Ashley mask, and then where did that switch happen and things like that. So I think there's got to be a follow-up at some point, but that is called Just Another Podcast Thursday. We will put the link to this adventure on the description notes here for the show, so you can actually click the link. It'll be open to anybody. You can go and play for yourself. Play the game. There's a few other places on there that maybe Salty Dalton didn't go down, so it actually would be new to you guys. And it took about 4 hours of my life, and towards the end I was like, I have no idea where this is going, but I'm gonna have to end it at some point. So initially things just ended when you like just drove out into the sunset with Ashley and me, and things were fine. And then like I came back to it later, and I was like, no. Pete has one more battle with Salty Dalton, and then I had to show the mask thing. So, good job though. Choose your own adventure.
I will start making yours.
Ooh, okay.
Tonight, and then next week you're gonna go through a choose your own adventure story.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make these using Google Forms. I will say, it just takes a little while and a lot of typing.
So this wasn't a template? Did you just have to build this out every time?
I build it out myself. Yep. So we'll talk offline, but that is Choose Your Own Adventure Cast. That is your awesome content here for this Thursday evening. Hope you guys are still staying safe.
Day 80 of quarantine.
God, it's been forever. It has still been so long here. But hope you guys are enjoying quarantine, finding creative outlets. Be sure to check out the Music Rabbit Hole on YouTube, my side project, Salty Dalton.
It's pretty good.
It's I'm having a lot of fun with that. This is the creative time, man. I mean, this is all we have going on right now is podcasts and YouTube shows and stuff like that. But this has been another episode of the Random Word Podcast. We'll be bringing you some more content next week as I travel down the Choose Your Own Adventure route. And again, please comment, like, and subscribe and all of the above. It's podcast stuff, the lingo, and hope you guys stay safe. All right, sayonara, sweet suckers.
We out.